use her influence to drive real change. In just about a decade, she has built a career defined by bold choices and powerful performances, from Dum Laga Ke Haisha to Badhai Do. But beyond the screen, ladies and gentlemen, she is not just an entertainer, she's also a climate warrior, and she's using her platform for sustainability. She's a national advocate for UNDP India, and I'm so excited that today we will get to hear about some of those efforts. Kindly join us on stage, ladies and gentlemen. A huge round of applause for the lovely Bhumi Pednekar, and please also put your hands together for Sarita Kaushik ji to chair this session.
I was thinking, how does one describe Bhumi? There's no single word, no single adjective for you. An actor, a dreamer, a leader, the first national advocate of the UNDP Sustainable Development Goals. And all this while doing so much. 3 Filmfare Awards, making it to the list of the 100 most attractive women, and also the Forbes 30 and the 30. The list seems to be endless and intimidating. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Bhumi Pednekar for you. Bhumi, welcome to Ideas of India.
Ma'am, thank you so much. That was such a... I'm very, very grateful for the introduction that you gave. I think my parents must have really predicted the future when they named me Bhumi, because I don't think there can be anything that can describe me better than what my name means. Just Mother Earth, because I'm so deeply connected to what our nature offers us, just to the way our planet works, and everything that you learn from that behavior: humility, being grounded, being nurturing, giving. And those are the traits that I try and embody.
That's so beautiful. It's reflected in the work that you do. But Bhumi, today, I think must be a very, very important day for you.
It is rather a very important day for me. I woke up, I was like, I need all blessings, because I have a film releasing in cinemas today, in theaters, called Mere Husband Ki Biwi. And you know, in the times that we are, a theatrical release is rather special. And yeah, I mean, I'm a bunch of nerves. So if I say anything that might not make sense, please excuse me today when a film releases. There's a lot of pressure.
I know, I'm sure. But from Dum Laga Ke Haisha to Pati Patni and Wo, and even this Mere Husband Ki Biwi, what is this with all these wifey kind of roles?
I don't know. I think more than them just being wives, I think the way I look at these characters is that they are women in entirety. You know, they represent different shades of what a modern day Indian girl is. I think one thing that's common amongst all my characters, and this is something that I'll never ever stop doing, is that all my characters have agency. For me, that is extremely important. Growing up, I saw beautiful female actors on stage, and they hugely inspired me. A very big reason why I wanted to be an actor was because I wanted to be like them.
Can you name a few?
I was a very big Karishma Kapoor fan.
Okay.
A very, very big Karishma Kapoor fan. I was a very big Rani Mukherjee fan, Vidya Balan ma'am, and the list goes on and on. But I think something that I really missed growing up was seeing women that did not fit into the bracket of what your conventional beauty standards are. So I thought growing up कि यार मैं तो कभी actor बन ही नहीं पाऊंगी क्योंकि मैं लड़कियों जैसी तो दिखती नहीं हूँ. And I'm very, very proud, and I'm genuinely so fortunate that my first film was Dum Laga Ke Haisha. That helped me, and hopefully many younger girls that watch that film understand that usually women are defined by what the society expects them to be. But you don't have to. You have to start making your own rules. And I can proudly say I'm going to complete 10 years in less than a week.
Yes.
And thank you so much. And I think something that I've learned, and it was rather hard, is that I have to make my own rules. I have to create my own room. I have to create my own conversation, because many a times there might not be ears that resonate with what I'm saying. That's because they are so conditioned to just work a certain way. But today I have a platform and I am empowered enough to create rooms and create conversations that are safe.
But Bhumi, you are in the list of 100 most attractive women.
Look,
What
that was
makes
changed.
you? How did this change happen? I'm sure every woman in this room would want to know.
Honestly, when I look back to how I was in Dam Laga Ke Aisha, I think I was extremely, extremely beautiful. You have to trust me, when I went through that transformation, I gained about 40 kilos for the film. And I did not even realize it till I saw myself on screen. Because nothing in my ecosystem changed. Nobody treated me differently within my family and friends that made me feel like, oh, there's something wrong with me. And I think it was that confidence with which I played that character. And I'm very humbled that people think I'm attractive, but it's not about your external beauty. I think it is about the person that I am.
But
I would like to believe so.
But very honestly, Bhumi, was that not a big risk? I mean, getting your entry-level film as an overweight young girl, I mean, everybody would probably run for only the opposite kind of a role.
Ma'am, honestly, when I was growing up, I didn't ever imagine that I'm going to debut with a film like Dam Laga Ke Aisha. I wanted to do all the quintessential parts, right? I was like, oh, I want to like...
But then why did you choose it?
Because, okay, I'm going to be very honest. Your first film is not something you choose, it chooses you. I don't come from a film family. I fought, you know, कैसे फिल्मों में दिखाते हैं घर पे लड़ाई झगड़े करके मुझे actor बनने का मौका मिला. That's exactly what happened. And I really, really upset my parents deeply because I decided to go into the world of films, because they didn't know how this world operates, right? They'd heard things and they were like, how can we send our daughter into the big bad world of cinema? But I was always a rebel because I was my father's child, even though he was completely upset with me. But I went ahead and I got into the world of movies. But the thing is, I didn't really have a choice. If they would have told me, बाल मुंडवा लो अपनी पहली फिल्म के लिए, मैम मैं वो भी कर लेती.
But someone actually came to you and told you that please put on weight?
हाँ जी. That's exactly what happened. And the beauty of it is, see, this is how the universe works, right? The beauty of it is that I was casting for that film, because I was a casting director for 4 years in a beautiful studio called Yash Raj Films. And I actually kind of strategized this. I manifested this, because when I started working in Yash Raj, I didn't tell anybody I want to be an actor. I was an assistant casting director then, but I was like, I will be so damn good in every audition that I conduct that they'll come and tell me, Bhumi, why don't you try being an actor? And that's exactly what happened. When the script came along, Mr. Aditya Chopra, who I'm deeply, deeply indebted to, went and told my friend and the head casting director of Yash Raj Films, Shanu Sharma, that, you know, I've heard Bhumi conduct auditions. Why don't we audition her? And Shanu was like, sure, like, you know, let's try it. And that happened. The process went on for many, many months, because my director inherently thought that I'm a Bombay girl. But I worked very hard, and I'm glad that I managed convincing him. And whatever happened, the rest is history. Dam Laga Ke Aisha changed my life. I don't think I would have it in any other way. Was I to go through that experience all over again and play that beautiful overweight girl, I would do it. I would not want any other debut but Dam Laga Ke Aisha.
Bhumi, you say that you can't choose your first film, the film chooses you.
At least when you don't come from a film family.
Yes, and I think everyone agrees with that, but then have you chosen the kind of roles you've played? Because we've seen you in very different portrayals. You have even played a closeted lesbian, you have played that dedicated journalist woman. Dam Laga Ke Aisha, of course, like you said, probably chose you. But then the kind of films that you have done have been of very powerful women. So did you specifically choose these roles? Did you say no to some roles then?
Oh, yeah. I've said no to a lot of work. It is extremely tough saying no, but it's also one of the most empowering things that you can do for yourself. I think about the characters that I've chosen, a lot has to do with what I resonate with. I truly believe that my art form is a great power that I have, and I really want to exercise it to bring about positive change in the world around me, in the society around me. All my films that happened post Dam Laga Ke Aisha, going into Toilet Ek Prem Katha, Shubh Mangal Savdhan, Son Chiriya, Bala, Sant Ki Aag, Pati Patni Aur Wo, Badhai Do, my last film, Mere Husband Ki Biwi. As I said when we started speaking, that one thing that's common in all these girls is that they all have agency. And I'm very fortunate that I've had an opportunity to play such diverse parts. But I think I always seek characters that I feel can be inspiring. I always seek characters that have something more to do than just entertainment. I always seek stories that truly would leave behind an impact. And honestly, I'm a very purpose-driven person. I think my purpose is to bring about positive change with my art form. Look, I'm a very, very fortunate person. I have a huge platform. And if I don't exercise that platform for betterment, for making this world a better place, then to me, I would not be successful.
I really want to know which are the films you said no to.
Well, I'm not going to say that. But
Let's put it another way. Where else would we have seen you, but we didn't see you?
well, I'm not even answering that. I know I'm very exhausted from all the promotions, but my brains are still functioning fine. I'm not giving you a clickbait headline. And also, I don't want to offend any other girl that must have done that film. Look, all our trajectories cannot be the same. All our choices cannot be the same. And I do not feel that anybody else's body of work is any lesser, because that's not okay. I'm a hard girl's girl, and everybody's journey cannot be same. I got very lucky because my first film was Dam Laga Ke Aisha, and in that film I got credibility as an actor, because of which I got heavy duty performance parts. Right. You know, and maybe a colleague of mine might not have had that journey, but you know, she has tried to prove herself film after film, and I would not want to belittle anybody else's work.
I appreciate that. Apart from the powerful roles which you've played in your films, you've been a kind of a, I will not use the word rebel, but powerful in your stand even within the industry. And what comes to my mind first is the gender pay gap. Yeah. So what is it like? And after you spoke out about it, did things change for you?
They did, but is the change huge enough? Not at all. Look, I don't think it is just our industry. I don't think it's just the acting fraternity or the films per se. There's a gender pay gap everywhere. You look at a woman CEO and you compare her to the salary that a man in a similar position would get, there is a gap. So let's acknowledge that this is a global situation. When it comes to our industry, I have spoken about it in the past, because I do feel that when I was in a position when I was offered literally 5% of what my male counterpart got, and I'm completely aware of the fact that I made this comparison with this, because him and I had the same amount of hits, we both were leading the films, we had the same amount of success, we also started at similar times, yet he got 80% more than what I was given. And I did that film. I did that film because I didn't have a choice. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this film, I'm going to create an impact, and hopefully I will create an ecosystem where I can empower myself and thereby empower other women that work with me.
But what was the advice that your peers gave you when you spoke about this?
I didn't ask anyone. I didn't care to ask anyone. I know the comment that I made was the right thing to do. I really feel that if you have a platform, you have to use it to do what's right. And that's exactly what I did. And did it make a difference? Of course it made a difference. Last year I was a part of a project where I was the highest paid actor, and I'm very proud of it. And I made sure that, and I really have to thank my producers, because they made sure that happened, because that's what I deserved. You know, the conversation is also about equality. So I'm not trying to say that when I'm working with somebody who has 30 plus years of experience and has this massive stardom, that you need to match me to what you're paying them. No, I think it needs to be apples for apples.
Right, but did that also keep people from coming to you?
I don't think so. I think I've done fairly well in the last 10 years. On an average, I have 3 to 4 things that release in a year, and I'm very, very fortunate that I honestly get to pick the work that I want to do. So no complaints. And the ones that have not come to me because they think that I'm being tough, difficult, opinionated, well, I am those things, and those are not bad things. So why not celebrate them?
Just like the gender pay gap, I think there is one more issue which the industry faces, and something that we keep hearing about, read about, that's the casting couch. Hardly anyone talks about it, then it's like a breakout when people do talk about it. And with the Justice Hema Committee for the Kerala film industry, we have realized that yes, that exploitation is very real. How is the situation in Bollywood? Do women really face a threat to their careers?
I'm going to divide my answer into 2 parts because I was a casting director for many, many years before I became an actor. But I was casting in an institution that was very, very clean, very organized. And in fact, if my casting director then, Mr. Abhimanyu Ray, would never audition a girl without me being present in the room. Now, that's the ecosystem that I literally grew up in because I was 17 when I started in Yash Raj Films as a casting director. Now, I firsthand, ma'am, have not experienced anything. But having said that, does it not exist? Of course it exists because we've had many women that have had the courage to come out and speak about it. I would never negate a girl's experience. I think the easiest thing for the society to do is ki nahi yaar, ye na, she's reading too much into it, or this mustn't have happened with her, and I would never ever do that. Is there a problem? Clearly there's a problem because there is one part of our Indian fraternity, you know, where where a proper legal process was followed, and there were some really, really heartbreaking, gruesome details that came out of it.
Yes.
And just as a woman today in India, I'm scared. And this is again just not about my fraternity. I am scared when my younger cousin who lives with me in Bombay goes out to college and she's outside and she does not come home till 11 o'clock at night. I get nervous.
Yes.
You know, there is a deep conditioning of power in our country, right? Like even if you look at, I mean, look, there's a problem when your front page news is only about the violence done on women. And this is not a one-off thing anymore. This is a regular occurrence. We see that everywhere around us. And then you need to go see the comments that come on those posts. Like, because now we all consume a lot digitally. The kind of comments will shock you. Every time I put out a picture where I might not be dressed the way you might want me to be dressed, the comments are rather, they can break you.
That's exactly my next question to you, that you're so much in the public eye and constantly seen on social media. So is that a pressure?
Absolutely, but I think I signed up for it. I can't complain. Like there are a lot of perks of being an actor, and absolutely there are some things that might not be the nicest, but this is what I signed up for. When I decided I wanted to be an actor, I wanted it all. I wanted to be on the stage, do interviews, I wanted a red carpet, I wanted awards, I wanted loads of money, and why shouldn't I? I think often women are very, very conscious saying कि मुझे बहुत अमीर बनना है या मुझे बहुत पैसे कमाना है या मेरे में बहुत ambition है, because we are told you can't have those things. And I love making money. It is really one of my biggest drives, and I'm not going to be ashamed of it.
I'm going to come to your next drive, and that is environment. As an environmentalist also, you have certainly made a mark. I believe you went to Davos too. Do people really even think of climate change? Are they serious?
I don't have an answer to that actually, but I would say that in the last few years, I started something called Climate Warrior in 2018. It's my advocacy platform, and that time my journey was very, very lonely because every time I went and spoke to somebody, they're like, oh my God, this is not really a real issue. Like, you know, there are many things that we need to speak about, but I truly feel the adverse effects of climate change, everything that we are facing right now is the largest looming threat that humanity has and will ever face. we don't realize that when we speak about our AQI going high, lack of nutrition in our soil, in our food, the water pollution, the mass destruction of biodiversity, forest fires, all of this is climate change. And we are living it. And I time and again tell people, if you truly love your family, if you truly want to protect them, you have to understand that this is the threat that you have to protect them from.
I'm not sure how many people here really know, but I believe your father was Satish Pednekar, who was Maharashtra's Home and Labour Minister. He was, yes, and he was a congressman, also heading the Seva Dal, if I'm not wrong. So, growing up in a family with a political background, how was that?
I think the reason we are this opinionated is because of the family that I'm born in. I never got to see my father in that role because he quit political practice a little before I was born. But I think जो हम में भावना है to give back, जो मेरे अंदर सेवा भावना है, I think all of it comes from him. I have seen him do incredible amounts of work for the society, for his ecosystem. And even though he was a minister, growing up, I did not see incredible amounts of wealth, but I still saw intention. I still saw my father go do whatever he could to bring about change within the systems that he knew. And I think it's that spirit of his that lives on in us. I lost him in 2011. We were very, very young. But every part of me is him. I'm his learning. And I really hope wherever he is, he's very proud of me.
I'm sure he is. When I see your social media, I see you kind of tagging the PM a lot, Narendra Modi ji, and I see you following his programs very closely. So coming from a family with a background in the Congress and this admiration that I see, a subtle admiration that I see in your posts for Narendra Modi ji. So is this a shift towards the BJP that has happened?
Wow, this has got... Ma'am, I have to tell you that I have extreme regard for our Honorable Prime Minister. I was very fortunate to actually have been a part of Pariksha Pe Charcha. And it was such a beautiful session because we had a very young audience in front of us, and we spoke about his book, The Exam Warriors, and there were so many brilliant lessons that I also adopted within my life, right? Like he says, don't be a warrior, be a warrior. And I think just to be a part of a platform like so, where you can connect with the youth of this country, was truly an opportunity that I really, really celebrated. And well, where my father's lineage is concerned, I'm sure he would be very proud of whatever my values are today.
I had once asked Kangana on an ABP platform whether she intended to make a move towards politics, and believe you me, she had said no. So, but actors do find their way into politics, and you have that in your blood in a way.
Absolutely.
You are a leader in your own right. So what are the chances of we seeing you donning that hat too?
Well, absolutely. I think it's in my blood, but I feel to bring about change, the platform that I have at the moment is quite strong, and I'm going to use my art form to the best of my ability to do the same work. And whatever is in the future for me, I don't know yet. All I know is that I'm an extremely patriotic person. I love my country a lot, and I truly, truly, truly am very purpose-driven, and my purpose is to bring about change. Now, whatever the future has in hold, I don't know.
So politics is not taboo.
Why should it be? Why should it be? We need leaders that can actually become great role models. I mean, do you think politics is taboo?
I wouldn't.
It shouldn't be.
That's reporting it as my business.
No, absolutely. I don't think it should be. In fact, we need younger leaders that get inspired and that can become great role models. How else are we going to see change?
So Bhumi, as we come closer to the end, it's 10 years behind you in the industry.
Yes.
What do you see 10 years ahead of you? I believe you intend to do some studying too.
Wow, you know quite a bit. Yes, I am. I think I constantly want to be learning. Knowledge is power. You know, people often ask me, what's the end goal? I don't know what the end goal is. I'm a very, very, very driven person. I want it all. But at the same time, I want to give back because I feel that's my purpose, as I mentioned a couple of times through our conversation. But I hope the next 10 years are as beautiful and as gratifying like what the past 10 years have been. I'm very, very fortunate that I was a young girl who dreamed of being where I am, and I got that opportunity, and there are very few people that get that. The fact that I can wake up every day and I still do something that I love so much, I'm just full of gratitude. You know, I remember there was a time in my life after I lost my father. Sorry, I'm getting a little vulnerable, but I feel like I can share this. When we lost Dad, we didn't know how would we survive as a family. It's tough. But that experience taught me that I'm a very resilient person. I became the primary caregiver. I'm the primary caretaker of my family. I have a beautiful family with my mother and my sister. And we as a unit are very, very strong. And I know that in the next 10 years, the legacy that we want to continue, the legacy that my father left behind, my sister and I are going to make it even larger and bigger. And I want the world to know that Satish Pednekar's daughters have truly left behind a legacy that has brought about positive change in the world.
I'm sure you will. You exude that confidence, and I'm sure it's also reflected here in the clapping of the audience. Bhumi, let's come back to the movies. And
Yes, that will be nice.
And I would like to ask you that you said you were inspired by a lot of great actors. So which are the movies which you've seen in your childhood, the kind you would like to see yourself in the future?
You know, a film that I really, really a film that actually impacted me a lot was Rang De Basanti. I love that film, and I really hope if they ever remake it that I can be a part of it. And because of my mother, I was introduced to a lot of cinema that was very content driven. So thank you to her. Like Kabuliwala is one of my most favorite films. Mirch Masala is one of my most favorite films. Art is something that I deeply, deeply love. But at the same time, there's a side of mine that loves like Biwi Number One, Dil To Pagal Hai, Kal Ho Na Ho. So I'm a cinema buff. I'm a lover of cinema, and I like watching all genres, all kind of films. And I want to do all genres, all kind of films. I just feel as artists and creative people, you need to be limitless. And that's what I want to do.
Talking of remakes, I believe there's a song today, launched today, Gori Hai Kalaiya, and can we see you perform something?
Yeah. Okay.
Just a few
Sure.
steps?
Sure. Yes. So
Can we have
it's
the
from my
music,
film
please?
that's it's from my film that's released today, called Mere Husband Ki Biwi. And the song's called Gori Hai Kalaiya. Happy to shake a leg with everyone, but only if you get up and stand next to me. And
Thank you very much, Bhumi, and all the best wishes for the film.
thank you so much. Thank you for listening to me patiently. Really, really appreciate it. And thank you, ABP, for having me and for all your support through the last 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bhumi, for being such a sport, and we can't wait to see what the next 10, 20 and 30 years will look like for you in cinema and beyond that. The way you're using your agency, it's truly inspiring. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the wonderful, wonderful Bhumi Pednekar. And may I please invite on stage Mayank Agrawal, CEO, Gallant Group of Companies, as well as Jyoti Mendon, Head of Media Marketing, Orient Bell, to please present Bhumi with a token of our appreciation. Thank you for being here, at Ideas of India. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद भूमि एक बार फिर. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And like she said, and let's hope we're all watching it very, very soon. Thank you, Bhumi, and thank you, Sarita ji, for a wonderful session as well. Thank you. So, of course, we in India love our movies.